Welcome, my friends, to Learn English with Stories 365. I'm Paul, and today I want to take you on an exciting journey, a journey that could change the way you think about money, success, and even the English language. Tell me, have you ever worried about money? Have you ever asked yourself, how can I make my life better? If you have, you are not alone. Many people ask these questions every day. But what if I told you that the secret to money is not just about working harder? What if I told you that rich people think differently about money? Would you believe me? Today, we are talking about a very special book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This book has changed millions of lives. It's changed my own life. Maybe it can change yours too. Now, before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and join our Facebook group, Learn English with Stories 365, for more great content. Links are in the description below. Imagine this. You are a child, and you hear two very different ideas about money. One person says, study hard, get a good job, and save money. Another person says, learn how money works, make money work for you, and build wealth. Two completely different ideas. Which one do you believe? This was the life of Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He had two father figures. One was his poor dad, a very smart man with a good job but no money. The other was his rich dad, a man with no fancy degree but a lot of wealth. Who do you think Robert decided to follow? That's what we'll explore today. But this video is not just about money. It's also about learning English. You will improve your vocabulary and grammar while discovering the secrets of financial success. So stay with me, because this could change the way you think about money and how you speak about it in English. Are you ready? Let's begin. Contrasting philosophies. Let's go back to Robert Kiyosaki as a young boy. Imagine him standing between two important men in his life, his poor dad and his rich dad. Both of these men loved Robert. Both wanted the best for him, but they had very different ideas about success and money. Poor dad's advice, the traditional path. Robert's poor dad was his real father. He was a very intelligent man. He had a great education and worked as a teacher. He believed that success in life came from working hard, getting good grades, and finding a secure job. Robert, he would say, study hard, go to a good school, get a degree, and find a safe job with a good salary. That is how you will be successful. Sounds familiar, right? Maybe your parents or teachers told you the same thing. Work hard, get a good job, and you will be fine. Poor dad believed that a high salary was the key to happiness. He thought that if you worked for a big company or the government, you would always be safe. But there was a problem. Even though poor dad had a good job, he always worried about money. Every month, he worked hard, got his paycheck, and then spent all his money on bills. There was never enough left at the end of the month. Have you ever felt like this? You work hard, but the money disappears too fast? Poor dad believed that talking about money was rude. He thought that rich people were greedy. He would say, money is the root of all evil. Now let's look at Rich Dad. Rich Dad's advice, a different way of thinking. Rich Dad was not Robert's real father, but he was a father figure. He was actually the father of Robert's best friend. Unlike Poor Dad, Rich Dad never finished school. He had no university degree, no safe job, no big salary. But he was rich. How is this possible? Rich Dad believed in a different way of thinking. He told Robert, you don't work for money. You make money work for you. What does that mean? Rich Dad believed that having a job is not enough. If you work for a salary, you will always depend on someone else for money. Instead, he told Robert to build businesses, buy investments, and grow wealth. While Poor Dad worked hard for money, Rich Dad made his money work for him. He would buy houses and rent them out. He would invest in small businesses. He would buy stocks that made him money even while he was sleeping. Now, let's compare their thinking side by side. Two different ways of thinking. Let's play a little game. I will tell you something Poor Dad believed, and you tell me what Rich Dad believed instead. Ready? Poor Dad. Go to school, get good grades, and find a safe job. Rich Dad. What do you think? Answer. Go to school, but also learn about money and how to invest. Poor Dad. Work hard for money. Rich Dad. Your turn. Answer. Make money work for you. Poor Dad. The rich are greedy. Rich Dad. The poor stay poor because they don't learn how money works. Poor Dad. Money is the root of all evil. Rich Dad, the lack of money is the root of all evil. Which way of thinking makes more sense to you? A lesson in the playground. Let's imagine a simple example. Two kids, Tom and Jerry, both want a bicycle. Tom's father tells him, "If you want a bicycle, you must work hard. You can save all your pocket money and buy it after 1 year." Jerry's father says, "If you want a bicycle, find a way to earn money." So, Tom waits 1 year, saves all his money, and finally buys his bicycle. But Jerry starts a small lemonade stand. He sells drinks to neighbors and makes money every week. After just 2 months, he has enough money to buy his bicycle. And guess what? His lemonade stand is still making money. Who do you think learned the smarter lesson? The rat race. Why most people stay poor. Rich Dad explained something important to Robert. He called it the rat race. What is a rat race? Imagine a little mouse running in a wheel. The wheel keeps spinning, but the mouse never gets anywhere. This is what happens to many people in real life. They go to school, they get a job, they get their first salary. They feel happy, but then they start spending. They buy a car. They buy expensive clothes. They go out to eat. Soon, they have to pay rent, electricity bills, taxes, and loans. So what do? They work harder to get a raise. But when they make more money, they also spend more. They buy a bigger house, a nicer car, a new phone. And then, they need even more money. So they work harder. Do you see the problem? They're just like the little mouse in the wheel. They are running, but they're not getting anywhere. How the rich escape the rat race. Rich Dad taught Robert a secret. He said, "The rich don't work for money. The rich build assets." What is an asset? An asset is something that makes you money even when you're not working. Imagine you buy a small shop. Every month, people buy things from your shop, and you make money. That shop is an asset because it puts money into your pocket. But imagine you buy an expensive car. Every month, you have to pay for fuel, insurance, and repairs. That car is a liability because it takes money out of your pocket. The rich spend their money on assets like houses, businesses, and stocks. The poor spend their money on liabilities like expensive clothes, new phones, and cars. A simple test. Let's do a quick test. Which one is an asset? A house that you rent out and make money from? Yes, that's an asset. A house that you live in and pay for every month? No, that's a liability. A small business that gives you extra income? Yes, that's an asset. A new iPhone that you buy just to look cool? No, that's a liability. Which dad would you choose? Now, let me ask you a question. If you could choose, which dad would you want? Would you choose poor dad, who tells you to work hard and save? Or would you choose rich dad, who teaches you how to invest and build wealth? The truth is you don't have to choose. You can learn from both. Work hard like poor dad, but think like rich dad. Get an education, but also learn about money. Use your salary to buy assets, not just expensive things. You don't have to be born rich to become rich. You just need to learn how money works. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. Are you ready to learn Rich Dad's secrets? Let's keep going. Key lessons from Rich Dad. In the last section, we saw how Robert Kiyosaki had two very different father figures. Poor dad who believed in working hard for money, and rich dad who believed in making money work for you. Now, let's go deeper into Rich Dad's lessons. These ideas changed Robert's life. And if you listen carefully, they could change your life too. The rat race. Working for money versus making money work for you. Imagine you have a hamster. You put the hamster inside a little wheel, and what happens? It runs and runs, but it never goes anywhere. The wheel keeps turning, but the hamster stays in the same place. Now, imagine a person. Every morning, they wake up, go to work, earn money, and pay bills. The next month, they do the same thing. And the next month, and the next year. They work hard, but they never have enough money. They feel trapped. This is what Rich Dad called the rat race. Poor dad believed in this system. He thought that if you worked hard, got a raise, and saved money, you would be safe. But every time poor dad earned more, his expenses also grew. He got a bigger house, a better car, and more bills. Does this sound familiar? Many people live like this. They think if I earn more, I will be happy. But the truth is, if they don't learn about money, they will always struggle. Rich Dad explained the difference. Poor and middle-class people work for money. They get a job, work hard, and spend what they earn. Rich people make money work for them. They build businesses, invest in assets, and create income that doesn't depend on a job. Let's look at an example. The story of John and David. John and David are best friends. They both get jobs and earn $3,000 a month. John is excited about his new salary. He buys a new phone, a car, and rents a big apartment. Every month, his salary comes in, and by the end of the month, all the money is gone. David, on the other hand, is different. He keeps his old phone, drives a simple car, and rents a small apartment. But he does something smart. He invests 20% of his salary. After 5 years, John is still stuck in the same job, working hard just to pay bills. But David? His investments have grown. He now owns a small business and earns money even when he is not working. John is in the rat race. David is making money work for him. Which one would you rather be? Rich Dad taught Robert that if you want to escape the rat race, you must buy assets, not liabilities. But what does that mean? Let's find out. The concept of assets versus liabilities. Rich Dad gave Robert a simple rule. The rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities. What does this mean? Let's explain it in an easy way. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Even when you sleep, an asset can make you money. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Every month, you must pay for it. Let's play a little game. I will say something, and you tell me if it's an asset or a liability. A house that you rent out and make money from? Yes, that's an asset. A house that you live in and pay for every month? No, that's a liability. A small shop that earns you extra money? Yes, that's an asset. A new car that loses value over time? No, that's a liability. Many people think they are rich because they buy expensive things. They get a big house, a new car, the latest iPhone, and designer clothes. But guess what? These things do not make you rich. They only take money out of your pocket. Let's look at an example. The story of Lisa and Mark. Lisa and Mark both earn $5,000 a month. Lisa loves nice things. She buys a big house, a new car, and eats at expensive restaurants. Every month, her salary disappears. Mark, on the other hand, is smart. He buys a small house, keeps his old car, and spends less. But instead of wasting money, he invests in assets. He buys a small apartment and rents it out. Every month, he makes an extra $500 from rent. Then he invests in stocks. The stocks pay him another $300 a month. After a few years, Mark has multiple sources of income. He can stop working anytime he wants. Lisa? She is still working every day just to pay her bills. Rich Dad said, the poor work for money. The rich make money work for them. Which one do you want to be? Now, there's one more thing we must talk about. Even if you're in a lot of money, you can still be poor. If you don't have financial education, you will never be truly rich. The importance of financial education over formal education. Poor Dad believed that school was the most important thing. Get a good education, he said, and you will have a good job. But Rich Dad had a different idea. He said school teaches you how to work for money. It does not teach you how to make money work for you. Think about it. In school, you learn math, history, and science. But do they teach you about money? Do they teach you how to invest? Do they teach you how to build a business? Most schools do not. That's why many people finish school, get a good job, and still struggle with money. Rich Dad's lesson. Learn about money. Rich Dad told Robert to read books, attend seminars, and find mentors who understood money. He taught him how to invest in real estate, buy stocks, and build businesses. Would you like to learn these things? Here's a simple exercise. Look around your room. How many things in your room are assets? How many things are liabilities? If you had $1,000 right now, would you spend it on a new phone or invest it in something that makes money? These small questions can change your future. We have already learned some important lessons from Rich Dad. We talked about the rat race, assets versus liabilities, and financial education. But there is something even more important than money itself. Do you know what it is? It's your mindset. Rich Dad said, your mind is your most powerful asset. If you use it well, you can become rich. If you use it poorly, you will stay poor. Let's explore two big ideas about mindset that Rich Dad taught Robert. Developing a wealth mindset. Asking, how can I afford it? Instead of saying, I can't afford it. Imagine you see something expensive, a new phone, a nice car, a beautiful house. Your first thought might be, I can't afford it. This is what poor Dad used to say. Whenever something was too expensive, he would immediately say, no, it's impossible. I don't have the money. Rich Dad, however, never said I can't afford it. Instead, he asked, how can I afford it? Do you see the difference? Poor Dad's thinking stops the mind. When you say I can't afford it, your brain stops working. It gives up. It doesn't try to find a solution. Rich Dad's thinking activates the mind. When you ask how can I afford it, your brain starts looking for solutions. It becomes creative. It tries to find a way. Let's try an example. Imagine you want to buy a laptop for $1,000. You don't have the money. If you say, I can't afford it, that's the end of the conversation. But if you ask, how can I afford it? Now you start thinking, can I save money every month until I have enough? Can I do extra work to earn more money? Can I sell something I don't use? Can I invest in something that makes money for me? This small change in thinking makes a huge difference. Think about successful people. Do they say, I can't do it? Or do they say, how can I do it? Let's look at an example. The story of Emma and Jake. Emma and Jake both want to travel to another country, but they don't have the money. Emma says, I can't afford it, and she forgets about it. Jake, however, asks, how can I afford it? He starts thinking. He sells old clothes and books that he doesn't need. He does extra work on weekends. He saves money every month. After 1 year, Jake has enough money for his trip. But Emma, she is still saying, I can't afford it. Who do you think will be more successful in life? Rich Dad said, poor people say I can't afford it. Rich people ask, how can I afford it? What about you? What will you say the next time you see something you want? Overcoming fear and taking calculated risks. Now, let's talk about something that stops many people from becoming rich. Fear. Have you ever wanted to do something but felt scared? Maybe you wanted to start a business, invest money, or try something new, but you were afraid of failing? That's normal. Even rich people feel fear. But the difference is, rich people don't let fear stop them. Poor Dad was afraid of losing money. He thought, what if I invest and lose everything? What if I fail? So, he never took risks. He always played it safe. Rich Dad, on the other hand, understood that failure is a part of success. He told Robert, the biggest risk is doing nothing. If you never take risks, you will never grow. You will stay in the same place forever. But this doesn't mean you should take blind risks. Rich Dad never told Robert to gamble or do something foolish. Instead, he taught him about calculated risks. What is a calculated risk? A calculated risk is when you study and prepare before making a decision. Let's say you want to start a small business. If you just quit your job and start without a plan, that is a blind risk. But if you research the business, learn about it, save money, and start small, that is a calculated risk. Imagine two people, David and Sarah. David hears that stocks can make you rich. He immediately buys $10,000 of stock in a company he knows nothing about. A few months later, the stock crashes and he loses everything. Sarah, on the other hand, takes a different approach. She spends 6 months learning about the stock market. She studies companies and starts investing slowly. She takes small risks first. Over time, she becomes successful. David took a blind risk, but Sarah took a calculated risk. Who do you think will be rich in the future? The fear of losing money. Many people never invest or start a business because they are afraid of losing money. Rich Dad said, it's okay to lose money. The important thing is to learn from it. Think about a baby learning to walk. The baby falls many times. But does the baby stop trying? No. The baby learns and gets better. The same is true for money. You might make mistakes. You might lose money. But if you learn from your mistakes, you will grow stronger. Final thoughts. Rich Dad's lessons are simple, but they can change your life. First, escape the rat race. Don't work just to pay bills. Build assets that make money for you. Second, buy assets, not liabilities. Don't spend all your money on things that lose value. Invest in things that bring you income. Third, learn financial education, not just school education. Schools teach many things, but they don't teach you how to make money work for you. But money alone is not enough. Your mindset is just as important. Stop saying I can't afford it and start asking how can I afford it? Your brain is powerful. Use it to find solutions, not excuses. Don't let fear stop you. Take calculated risks and learn from your mistakes. Losing money is not the real problem. Not learning from your mistakes is. Now here's a question for you. What is something you have always wanted but thought you couldn't afford? Instead of saying I can't afford it, ask yourself, how can I afford it? Write down 3 ideas. Even small changes in your thinking can change your future. Your future is in your hands. The choice is yours. Are you ready for the next lesson? Let's keep going. Practical applications. So far, we have learned some powerful lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We know that working hard is not enough. You must learn how money works. We understand the difference between assets and liabilities. We have also seen how the rat race keeps people stuck, always working but never truly free. But now comes the most important question. How do you apply these lessons to your life? It's great to understand financial ideas, but knowledge alone won't make you rich. You must take action. So today, let's talk about practical steps. Simple things you can start doing today to change your financial future. Are you ready? Let's begin. Step 1. Track your expenses. Where does your money go? Have you ever reached the end of the month and thought, where did all my money go? Many people feel this way. They work hard, they earn money, but somehow they never have enough. The first step to becoming financially free is understanding where your money goes. For 1 month, write down every single thing you spend money on. Yes, everything. Even small things like coffee, snacks, and online subscriptions. At the end of the month, look at your list. You will be shocked at how much money disappears on unnecessary things. Now ask yourself, which of these expenses can I reduce? Maybe you are spending too much on eating out. Maybe you have subscriptions you don't even use. Maybe you buy expensive clothes you don't need. Small changes can save you hundreds of dollars every month. And guess what? You can use that money to buy assets instead of liabilities. Imagine this. Instead of buying a $5 coffee every day, you save that money and invest it. In 1 year, you could have over $1,800, enough to start building wealth. Remember, rich people track their money. Poor people ignore their money. Which one do you want to be? Step 2. Start small. The power of tiny investments. Many people say, I don't have enough money to invest. But that's not true. You don't need millions to start investing. You can start small. Rich Dad told Robert, it's not about how much money you have. It's about how you use the money you have. Let's say you have $50. What can you do with it? You can buy a book about investing and learn new skills. You can start a small side business like selling homemade products online. You can invest in stocks that pay dividends. A small investment today can turn into something big in the future. Think about a tiny seed. If you plant it today and take care of it, one day it will grow into a big, strong tree. Money is the same. If you invest even a little now, it can grow into something much bigger. So, what small investment can you start today? Step 3. Build assets before buying luxuries. Poor Dad told Robert, when you make more money, buy a better house, a better car, and better clothes. Rich Dad said, first buy assets. Then, let those assets pay for your luxuries. Let's say you want a new phone. You can do 2 things. You can buy the phone immediately, spend all your money, and have nothing left. You can invest your money, buy an asset that makes you extra money, and use that money to buy the phone later. Which is smarter? Imagine you save $500 and invest it in stocks. If your stocks grow and earn $50 a month, you now have extra money coming in. After a few months, you can buy your new phone without losing your savings. This is what rich people do. They don't buy luxuries first. They build assets first, and then let their assets pay for the luxuries. So, before you buy something expensive, ask yourself, can I buy an asset first that will help me pay for this? Step 4. Reinvest profits. Let your money grow faster. Many people make money and then spend it immediately. Rich people make money and reinvest it. Imagine you start a small business selling handmade jewelry. You make your first $100. What do you do next? Poor mindset. Spend the $100 on a new outfit. Rich mindset. Use the $100 to buy more materials and make more jewelry to sell. If you reinvest, your money grows faster. It's like planting a tree. If you take care of it, it will give you more and more fruit every year. The secret to building wealth is this: make money, reinvest it, and let it grow. How can you reinvest your money to make it grow? Step 5. Learn every day. Financial education never ends. Rich Dad told Robert, "The moment you stop learning, you stop growing." Many people finish school and never study again. They work the same job for 30 years and wonder why they never become rich. Successful people never stop learning, especially about money. Here are some simple ways to learn every day. Read books about investing, business, and finance. Listen to podcasts or watch videos about money management. Follow successful people and learn from their experiences. Take courses to improve your skills. Even 30 minutes a day of financial education can change your life. Remember, money is a skill. The more you learn, the better you will become at making money work for you. The power of daily financial habits and avoiding impatience. We've talked about tracking expenses, building assets, and reinvesting money. But there's one more secret to financial success: good daily habits. Rich Dad told Robert, "Your habits decide your future. If you have poor habits, you will stay poor. If you have rich habits, you will become rich." The small things you do every day can change your financial future. Small habits, big results. Let's imagine two friends, Anna and Michael. Anna spends $10 every morning on fancy coffee. She never checks her bank account, and she spends money whenever she feels like it. Michael, on the other hand, makes his own coffee at home. He tracks his expenses every day. He saves and invests a small amount every month. After 1 year, Anna has nothing left. But Michael? He has saved over $3,000. This is the power of daily habits. Small actions today can create big results in the future. Daily financial habits that can change your life. Here are some simple habits you can start today. Pay yourself first. Before paying bills, save a small part of your income. Even 10% is a great start. Track your spending. Write down everything you buy. You will be surprised where your money goes. Learn something about money every day. Read a page of a finance book, listen to a podcast, or watch a short video. Say, "How can I afford it?" instead of "I can't afford it." Train your mind to look for solutions, not problems. Invest a little every month. Even if it's a small amount, invest consistently. Which of these habits can you start today? Avoiding impatience. Wealth takes time. Many people want to be rich fast. They think, if I don't see results in a few months, it's not working. But here's the truth. Building wealth takes time. Think of a tree. You plant a seed, but you don't see a tree the next day. You must water it, protect it, and wait. Money works the same way. If you invest today, you may not see results immediately. But over time, your money will grow. Just like a tree. Most people give up too soon. Don't be one of them. Stay patient, stay consistent, and your financial future will change. Final thoughts. Your path to financial freedom starts today. Now you have real, practical steps to take control of your financial future. Track your expenses. Understand where your money goes. Start small. Invest even tiny amounts and watch them grow. Build assets first. Let your money make money before buying luxuries. Reinvest your profits. Don't just spend. Let your money work for you. Never stop learning. Financial education is the key to freedom. Your future is in your hands. The sooner you start, the sooner you will be free. Success is not one big action. It's many small actions repeated every day. So, what will you do today to start building your financial future? Will you track your spending? Will you invest in your first asset? Will you start learning about money? Start today. Build good habits. Be patient. And soon, you will see the results. Are you ready to take action? Let's go. Mindset and emotional control. Money is not just about numbers. It's not only about working hard or making the right investments. Your emotions play a big role in your financial success. Rich Dad told Robert, "Most people let their emotions control their money. But if you want to be rich, you must control your emotions." What emotions was he talking about? The two biggest emotions that affect financial decisions are fear and greed. If you understand these emotions and learn how to control them, you can make smarter choices and build a better future. The role of fear and greed in financial decisions. Let's talk about fear first. Have you ever been afraid of losing money? Have you ever thought, what if I invest and lose everything? What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? This is the kind of fear that stops people from taking action. Poor Dad had this fear. He was always afraid of losing money, so he never took risks. He worked hard, saved his money, and played it safe. But guess what? Even though he worked hard all his life, he never became rich. Rich Dad, on the other hand, understood that fear is natural, but you cannot let it control you. He told Robert, the difference between the rich and the poor is not that rich people don't feel fear. It's that they don't let fear stop them. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. The first time they fall. The second time, they fall again. But if they keep trying, they learn how to balance. Money works the same way. You might make mistakes. You might lose money. But if you learn from your mistakes, you will become stronger. Now, let's talk about greed. Greed is the opposite of fear. Instead of being afraid, greedy people want too much too fast. Some people hear about a new way to make money, maybe a new stock, cryptocurrency, or business idea. They don't study it. They don't think carefully. They just want to get rich fast. And what happens? They lose everything. Rich Dad told Robert, never invest because you are excited. Invest because you are informed. The key is balance. You must learn to take calculated risks, not be too afraid, but also not be too greedy. Let's look at two examples. The story of Tom and Jack. Tom and Jack both hear about a new company. The company promises to double their money in 1 month. Tom is afraid. He thinks, what if I lose money? What if this is a scam? So he does nothing. Jack, on the other hand, is greedy. He thinks, wow, this is my chance to get rich fast. Without thinking, he invests all his money. 1 month later, the company goes bankrupt. Jack loses everything. Now, imagine a third person, Sarah. Sarah is smart. Instead of being afraid or greedy, she takes a calculated risk. She studies the company. She asks experts. She invests only a small amount, an amount she can afford to lose. Who do you think will be successful in the long run? Sarah, of course. Fear and greed are dangerous, but knowledge is powerful. Now, let's talk about how thinking like an investor can help you avoid these mistakes. Thinking like an investor, not a consumer. Have you ever bought something expensive and later regretted it? Maybe you bought the newest phone, the latest fashion, or a fancy car. It felt great at the moment, but later you realized it didn't make your life better. This is how consumers think. A consumer spends money on things that make them feel good right now. An investor thinks differently. An investor asks, will this purchase make me more money in the future? Let's look at an example. Imagine you have $1,000. A consumer will spend it on a new phone, a designer bag, expensive shoes. An investor will spend it on buying stocks that pay dividends, starting a small business, taking a course to learn a new skill. After 1 year, the consumer still has a used phone and old clothes. But the investor has more money than before because their money worked for them. Rich Dad told Robert, poor people buy things. Rich people buy assets. Every time you want to buy something expensive, ask yourself, is this a want or a need? Will this item lose value or make me money? Can I invest this money instead? This small change in thinking can make a huge difference. Surrounding yourself with growth-oriented people. Have you ever heard the phrase, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Think about your friends and family. Do they talk about success, learning, and growth? Or do they complain, make excuses, and avoid challenges? Rich Dad told Robert, if you want to be rich, spend time with people who think about money the right way. If you spend time with people who complain about money, say, rich people are just lucky. Avoid learning new skills. You will probably think the same way. But if you surround yourself with people who talk about business and investing, look for opportunities instead of problems, believe that success is possible through learning and action, then you will grow. Let's look at 2 different groups of friends. The story of Lisa and Emily. Lisa and Emily both want to start their own businesses. Lisa's friends tell her, "That's too risky. Just get a normal job." She listens to them and never starts her business. Emily, however, spends time with entrepreneurs. She learns from their experiences, gets advice, and stays motivated. Who do you think will be more successful? Emily, of course. If you want to grow, find people who are also growing. Join groups where people talk about money, business, and success. Find a mentor, someone who knows more than you and can guide you. Read books written by successful people. If you can't find successful people in your daily life, don't worry. You can still learn from books, podcasts, and online communities. The key is to surround yourself with the right ideas and the right people. Final thoughts. Mastering your mindset. If you want to be financially successful, you must control your emotions and think like an investor. Fear and greed. Don't be too afraid to take risks, but don't be too greedy to make bad choices. Learn, prepare, and take calculated risks. Investor versus consumer. Stop buying things that lose value. Instead, buy assets that make you money. Surround yourself with the right people. Spend time with people who think about success, learning, and growth. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever made a decision based on fear or greed? What happened? Are you a consumer or an investor? What can you do to start thinking like an investor? Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Do they help you grow? Your mindset controls your financial future. Start thinking like the rich, and soon you will start living like the rich. Are you ready for the next step? Let's keep going. Vocabulary. Now that we've learned all these powerful lessons, let's take a moment to understand some important words. Learning these words will help you talk about money with confidence. When you understand financial terms, you can make better decisions. When you understand mindset terms, you can think like a rich person. And when you know common phrases, you can speak about money like an expert. Let's go through each category together. Financial terms. These are words that will help you understand how money works. 1. Assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. It helps you make money, even when you're not working. Example. A house that you rent to others is an asset because it makes you money every month. Now, here's a question for you. Which of these is an asset? A car you use to drive to work. B. A small shop that earns money every month. Think about it. The correct answer is B, because it puts money in your pocket. 2. Liabilities. A liability is the opposite of an asset. It takes money out of your pocket. Example. A car that you use for personal driving is a liability because you must pay for gas, insurance, and maintenance. Which of these is a liability? A house you rent out to make money. B. A house you live in and pay for every month. The correct answer is B. If it doesn't make you money, it's a liability. 3. Investments. An investment is something you buy today to make more money in the future. Example. Buying stocks, starting a business, or purchasing real estate can be an investment if they bring you money later. 4. Passive income. Passive income is money that comes to you without you working every day for it. Example. If you write a book and sell it online, the money you earn from book sales is passive income. You don't have to rewrite the book every time. Here's a question. Which one is passive income? Getting a salary from your job. B. Getting rent from an apartment you own. The correct answer is B, because the apartment makes money even when you are not working. 5. Financial freedom. Financial freedom means you have enough passive income to cover all your expenses, so you don't need to work unless you want to. Example. If your investments make $3,000 a month and your expenses are only $2,500, you have reached financial freedom. 6. Reinvestment. Reinvestment means taking the money you make from investments and putting it back into new investments instead of spending it. Example. Instead of using your profits to buy a new phone, you reinvest them into more stocks or real estate to make more money. 7. Expenses. Expenses are things you spend money on like rent, food, transportation, and bills. Example. If you spend too much on unnecessary expenses, you will have no money left to invest. Here's a question. If you want to be rich, should you increase or decrease your expenses? The correct answer is decrease. The less you spend, the more you can invest. Mindset terms. Your way of thinking about money is just as important as how much money you have. Let's learn some words that describe different ways people think about money. 1. Scarcity. Scarcity means believing there is never enough. Not enough money, not enough opportunities, not enough success. People with a scarcity mindset think money is limited and that success is only for a few people. Example: I will never be rich because only lucky people get rich. This is scarcity thinking. 2. Abundance. Abundance is the opposite of scarcity. It means believing that there is always enough money, enough success, enough opportunities. People with an abundance mindset believe they can create wealth. Example: there are many ways to make money, and I can learn how. This is abundance thinking. 3. Risk-taking. Risk-taking means being willing to take smart chances. Successful people take calculated risks, meaning they study and prepare before making a decision. Example: investing in a business can be a calculated risk if you research it first. Example: spending all your money on lottery tickets is not a calculated risk, it's just a gamble. 4. Financial literacy. Financial literacy means understanding how money works, how to invest, how to save, and how to manage your finances. Example: I read books about money every day to improve my financial literacy. 5. Consumer versus investor mindset. A consumer mindset focuses on spending money, buying new clothes, new phones, and things that lose value. An investor mindset focuses on growing money, buying assets, investing, and making money work for them. Consumer: I got paid, so I'm going to buy new shoes. Investor: I got paid, so I'm going to invest in stocks. Which mindset do you want to have? Common phrases. Rich Dad used many phrases to teach Robert about money. Let's go over a few important ones. 1. Make money work for you. Instead of working for money, rich people find ways to make money work for them through investments and passive income. Example: instead of getting another job, I will invest in rental properties to make money work for me. 2. Escape the rat race. The rat race is the endless cycle of working, paying bills, and never having enough money. Escaping it means building wealth so you don't have to work forever. Example: I don't want to work for 40 years just to pay bills. I want to escape the rat race. 3. Build assets before luxuries. Poor people buy expensive things first. Rich people build assets first and use their passive income to buy luxuries later. Example: before buying a car, I will invest in real estate. My rental income will help me afford the car. 4. Pay yourself first. Before paying bills or spending money, set aside a part of your income for saving and investing. Example: every time I get paid, I put 20% into investments. I always pay myself first. Final thoughts. Understanding these words will change the way you think about money. Financial terms help you manage money better. Mindset terms help you think like a rich person. Common phrases remind you what to do with your money. Now let's test your knowledge. Which sentence is correct? A house you live in is an asset. Rich people buy liabilities first. Passive income is money you work for every day. People with an abundance mindset believe they can create wealth. Write your answers in the comments below. Now that you know the vocabulary of wealth, are you ready to start your journey? Let's go. Key grammar points. Learning about money is important, but how you talk about money is just as important. If you want to sound more confident when discussing finances, you need to use the right grammar structures. Let's go over some useful grammar points that will help you talk about money, wealth, and success more effectively. 1. Conditional sentences. Conditional sentences show cause and effect. They describe what happens if a certain action is taken. Rich Dad often used conditionals to teach Robert about money. Example: if you invest wisely, you will grow your wealth. Cause: investing wisely effect, growing wealth. Now let's try some more. What's the missing word? The answer is will be. If you spend all your money on luxuries, you will be broke. The correct answer is will make. If you study financial education, you will make better money decisions. Now you try. Complete the sentence. Write your answer in the comments. 2. Passive voice. Passive voice is useful when we want to focus on the action rather than who is doing it. Rich Dad often used the passive voice when talking about financial principles. Example: money is seen as a tool for freedom. The focus is on the idea, not who sees money this way. Assets are bought by the rich, while liabilities are bought by the poor. The focus is on assets and liabilities, not the people buying them. Let's test your knowledge. Which sentence is in passive voice? A. Investors buy stocks to earn passive income. B. Stocks are bought by investors to earn passive income. The correct answer is B, because it focuses on the stocks, not the investors. Now you try. Change this active sentence to passive. Rich Dad teaches important financial lessons. Write your answer in the comments. 3. Comparatives and superlatives. Comparatives and superlatives help us compare things, which is important when talking about money. Comparative example: the rich are more financially educated than the poor. Comparing two groups, the rich versus the poor. Superlative example: investing is one of the smartest ways to build wealth. Superlative: smartest because it's being compared to all other ways to build wealth. Let's practice. Fill in the blanks with the correct form. The correct answers are safer and best. Stocks are safer than cryptocurrencies. Real estate is one of the best investments you can make. Now you try. Complete this sentence. Write your answer in the comments. 4. Reported speech. Reported speech is used when we tell someone what another person said. This is useful when discussing Rich Dad's lessons. Example: direct speech. Rich Dad said, financial education is more important than formal education. Reported speech. Rich Dad told Robert that financial education was more important than formal education. Did you notice that is changed to was? That's because reported speech usually shifts to the past tense. Let's practice. Change the sentence to reported speech. Direct speech. Poor Dad said, money is the root of all evil. Now you try. Rewrite it in reported speech. Write your answer in the comments. 5. Modals for advice. Modals like should, must, and can are very useful when talking about financial advice. Examples: you should start investing early. Advice: it's a good idea to invest early. You must understand assets and liabilities. Stronger advice: it's necessary to understand them. You can escape the rat race by building assets. Possibility: it is possible to escape the rat race. Let's practice. Fill in the blanks with should, must, or can. The correct answers are should, must, and should. You should save at least 10% of your income. Everyone must learn about money if they want to be financially free. If you want to build wealth, you should start investing today. Now you try. Complete this sentence. Write your answer in the comments. Final thoughts. Good grammar helps you speak about money more clearly and confidently. Conditional sentences help you explain financial cause and effect. Passive voice helps you focus on financial principles. Comparatives and superlatives help you compare financial decisions. Reported speech helps you share financial advice. Modals for advice help you give smart money recommendations. Now let's test your skills. Answer in the comments. Rewrite this in reported speech. Rich Dad said, the poor work for money, but the rich make money work for them. Fill in the blank. Which is correct? A. Investing is more smarter than saving. B. Investing is smarter than saving. Practice makes perfect. The more you use these grammar structures, the better you will sound when talking about money. Now that you know the key grammar points, are you ready to start thinking and speaking like a wealthy person? Let's go. Final wisdom. We've reached the final part of our journey through Rich Dad, Poor Dad. By now, you understand the rat race, the difference between assets and liabilities, and the importance of a wealth mindset. You've learned that fear and greed control many people's financial choices and that investors think differently from consumers. But here's the truth. Knowing these lessons is not enough. Rich Dad told Robert, many people dream of becoming rich, but very few take action. It doesn't matter how much you learn if you don't do anything with that knowledge. Success is not just about knowing, it's about doing. Let's talk about what you need to do next. Success is about mindset, hard work, and action. Many people believe that success comes from luck. They think rich people were just born in the right families or got lucky with a good job or business. But Rich Dad had a different opinion. He said success is not about luck. Success is about mindset, hard work, and action. Think about this. If you take someone who is rich but doesn't understand money and take away all their wealth, what will happen? In a few years, they will probably be rich again. Why? Because they have the mindset of a wealthy person. They know how to make money, manage it, and grow it. On the other hand, if you give a poor person $1 million but they don't understand money, what will happen? Most of the time, they will lose it all. They will spend it on expensive things instead of investing it. Within a few years, they will be poor again. This is why mindset matters more than money. If you think like the rich, work hard, and take action, you can build wealth, no matter where you start from. The power of giving back. Now, here's something you might not expect. Rich Dad told Robert, "The richest people are those who give back." Wait, what? Giving away money makes you richer? Yes, but not in the way you might think. Why giving back makes you wealthier? It creates value. Successful businesses solve problems for people. The more value you give, the more you receive. It builds strong relationships. When you help others, you build a good reputation. People trust you more, and opportunities come your way. It gives you a purpose. Many rich people say that true happiness doesn't come from money. It comes from helping others. Let's look at an example. The story of James and Kevin. James and Kevin both become rich. James keeps all his money for himself. He doesn't help anyone. He only focuses on getting richer. Kevin, on the other hand, gives back. He donates to charities, helps young entrepreneurs, and teaches others about money. What happens? James feels empty. He has money, but no happiness. Kevin, however, feels fulfilled. People respect him, trust him, and want to work with him. His business grows because people know he is a good person who cares about others. Who do you think is more successful in the long run? Success is not just about having money. It's about using money to create a better life for yourself and others. So, as you start your financial journey, remember, wealth is not just for you. It's also for helping others. Encouragement to start small, take action, and stay committed. Now, comes the most important part of all. It's time to take action. You might be thinking, but I don't have much money. Where do I start? The good news is, you don't need a lot of money to start. Rich Dad said, "The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today." It doesn't matter if you're starting with nothing. What matters is that you start. Let's look at some simple ways to begin your journey to financial freedom. Step 1. Start with small, simple changes. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens step by step. Here are small things you can start doing today. Track your expenses. Write down where your money goes. Save a small percentage of your income. Even 5% is a great start. Learn something about money every day. Read, watch, and listen. Invest a little. Even $10 can go into stocks, a side business, or education. Small habits lead to big results. If you improve 1% every day, in 1 year, you will be 37 times better than when you started. Step 2. Focus on progress, not perfection. Many people wait for the perfect moment to start investing or learning about money. They say, "I'll start when I earn more money. I'll invest when I understand everything. I'll build assets when I have time." Guess what? There is no perfect moment. If you wait, you will never start. The best way to learn is by doing. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep going. Step 3. Stay committed. Success takes time. One of the biggest reasons people fail is because they give up too soon. They start saving money, but after a few months they stop. They invest, but when they don't see results quickly, they quit. Rich Dad compared success to planting a tree. First, you plant a seed, learning and taking action. Then, you water it every day, good financial habits. At first, you don't see anything happening. But underground, the roots are growing. If you stay patient and keep watering it, One day, the tree grows big and strong. Wealth works the same way. You may not see results immediately, but if you stay consistent, success will come. Final challenge. Take the first step today. Let's do something right now. Step 1. Think about what you have learned. What was the most powerful lesson for you? Step 2. Choose one action you will take today. It can be small, maybe tracking your expenses, reading a book about money, or saving $5. Step 3. Write it down. Now, I have a question for you. What is one small action you can take today to move toward financial freedom? Write your answer in the comments below. Remember, success is not about luck. It's about mindset, hard work, and action. You now have everything you need to start your journey. The question is, will you take the first step? Your future is in your hands. The time is now. Let's go. Your journey starts now. Congratulations. You've just taken a huge step toward financial freedom by learning the key lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But remember, knowledge is only powerful if you use it. Now it's time to take action. Start small, build good habits, and stay committed. Your financial future is in your hands. What's the first step you'll take today? Tell us in the comments. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button, turn on notifications, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Let's keep moving toward financial success.